Go RV Camping Cuisine is brought to you by Thetford Australia. Today's delicious recipe was made possible using the Thetford Mini Grill Mark III. Feel at home on the road with cooking appliances from Thetford.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another Camping Cuisine. Jay King and his team have lent us the Big Red, and today I'll be cooking a beef stroganoff for you guys. Let's go check out this van. Here we are in the Big Red. I'm about to cook one of my favourite family recipes, a beef stroganoff. Let's check out the ingredients required. We've got some beef strips, olive oil, flour, mushrooms, onion, garlic, some paprika, tomato paste, some beef stock, sour cream, a dry white wine, and for this dish you can use rice, you can use mashed potato, but I'm using some fettuccine pasta. So first step, we're going to slice our mushroom and dice our onion. A little tip, if you don't want to cry while chopping your onions, keep them in the fridge about an hour before. Now we're going to slice up all of our mushrooms, roughly about 200 grams. So I'm not going to thinly slice this, I want them slightly thicker. They're going to be cooking for a little while. Now I love my meat, but if you're not the meaty kind of person, you could replace the meat with another variety of mushroom. Our slicing and dicing is done. We're going to chuck some flour in with the beef. So the flour will give the meat a nice texture and help thicken up our sauce. We want to coat the meat with the flour. With this much meat, we want to cook over 2 batches. We want to make sure we brown the meat and not steam our meat. Rightio, let's fire up our Thetford cooker and get the pan on the flame. We're going to get our pan nice and hot before we add our meat. So we need to add some butter and oil to our pan. The reason why we add oil to our pan with the butter is to stop the butter from burning. We need 50 grams of butter and just a splash of oil. Get our oil. That should do it. We're just going to stir that through. And judging by those bubbles, our pan's looking pretty hot. So it's time to add our meat. We're going to do it in 2 batches, and like I said, we want to fry our meat and not stew it. So the meat's sizzling away. It's important that we only brown it. We don't want to overcook our meat. We really start to see the flour and the browning coming through now. The power of this Thetford cooker is really helping keep this pan super hot, giving us a nice crispy outer and keeping our meat nice and tender inside. And that's it, we'll take the meat off. I'm going to grab a plate and we're just going to take our meat out of the pan. So I've taken our first batch out, we'll get the second one on. We will add a little bit more oil, just a splash, and we'll get the rest of that meat in there. Right, our second batch is done. Turning our heat off, and we're going to add that to our other plate. While the meat's resting, we'll get the onions in the pan, get it nice and translucent, then we'll add our mushrooms. We'll add a bit more oil, and we'll get these onions in. We'll give them a stir, and once all the onions become translucent, we'll add in the mushrooms. We'll get our mushrooms in there. The onions are looking nice and soft. Get all of that in there. We'll give that a bit of a stir. We'll add a couple of teaspoons of crushed garlic. We add 1 teaspoon of paprika, 2 tablespoons of some tomato paste. We're going to add half a cup of wine. Listen to that sizzle. And we need 3/4 of a cup of beef stock. And we're going to stir that through. We've got some great colour and some great smell happening from this pan. Okay, the water's starting to boil. I'm going to get my pasta in. These nests are really handy. Roughly about 2 nests per person, I find. We're going to season our sauce with a bit of salt and some pepper and get our meat in there. Now I'm going to let that simmer there for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to add the sour cream. So while that's simmering away, I'm going to clean up and prepare our table for our taste tester. I'll just check on our pasta. We don't want it to stick together. It's important to keep stirring our pasta to avoid it sticking together. So we're almost there. All I need now is 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Probably another minute or 2. Gee, I wish you guys could smell how good this is. So we'll turn our Thetford off and we'll strain our pasta. So we get the strainer on the pot and we'll plate up our pasta. I don't know about you, but I've worked up an appetite. It's looking really good. Nice hearty meal, 1 pan required. Where's my taste tester?
Something smells great.
Smells great, it looks great. How about we give it a taste?
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to start without me.
No, this is way too good to share without someone. I'll let you go first. It's safe?
Delightful.
Well, there you have it, guys. Another successful Go RV Camping Cuisine. For all these recipes, jump on the website. You have all the instructions. See you next month.